Hi, it's Polly with Get Busy Thriving. I wanted to share my answers to some questions that a client sent me that have to do with decision making and procrastination, and how my processes or my thought processes around making better decisions, making quicker decisions instead of procrastinating. So, Kelly, this video is for you, my friend. So, she asks, how do you approach decisions you're unsure about? Do you give yourself less options? So, before I answer that, I wanted to share just some of the fundamental philosophies or beliefs that I have, that I've created, adopted, that I've picked up along my path, that I think really go to how to be a good decision maker. So how I approach decisions I'm unsure about. Well, let me tell you how I approach all decisions and just how I look at them in general. So I have a fundamental belief that things are always working out for me. I didn't always think that, but I've come to learn and adopt that. Like, things are always working out. It's a belief, it's faith in things working out for me. And so what that tells me is, if things are going to work out, there's no decision that I have to fear. I don't have to struggle over something because, I could choose the wrong decision or whatever. It's like, nope, if I choose this one and it doesn't either turn out the way that I want, or I don't have the outcome as great as I'd like, or it's just different, well, there's something else I'm supposed to choose. There is no wrong step along my path, is what I'm getting at. So having that philosophy helps take let's say the stress and the delays out of making the decision, because I don't feel like one is going to be wrong. It's just going to move me forward, if you will. I believe I'm a good decision maker, and I think that's fundamental. It's something that you can learn and acquire. It's like strengthening a muscle. I'm a good decision maker. I'm a good decision maker because I've made a lot of decisions in my life and things have turned out. I know what I want. I think really key in making good decisions is knowing what you like, what makes you happy, what you enjoy, what your personal preferences are. So I'm clear about what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. Some of that's just being, years on the planet. I've come to understand what makes me happiest. And I would say, as I approach decisions, so you say, how do you approach decisions you're unsure about? How I approach, let's say, the bigger decisions, not the smallest decision from like, what do I eat for breakfast, something like that, but if it's something that over time could have like a life-changing effect, two different paths, if you will, what I think about is, what's my highest vision for myself? Where do I'm in tune with, and I've done enough visualizing of my future, and I know the goals that I have and the dreams that I have and where I'm going in my life. I think it's important to know, well, what's the result that I want? Because if I know where I'm going and the results that I want, this decision is it moving me closer or further away from that which I want most? Is it taking me in the direction that will get me to the life that I want, right? So that's pretty fundamental. Next thing is to think about is, what are my values? I've done exercises and I'm clear about what my top 10 values are: health and vitality, love and connection, growth, joy, fun, playfulness, etc. I know what my top 10 values are. So if it's anything that is out of alignment with my values, that will show up clearly for me. It's like, nope, that's easy. That doesn't align with who I am or what I value most, right? And knowing the order of priority, I'll just add this for a comment, is knowing the order of priority of your values will help you make decisions based on those values. Because if you just think all of your values are equal, they're not. You actually have an order of priority, and some of you come to adopt them haphazardly, like what you think you prioritized, as a value. If you really examined it and you made your value list, your priority list, in order of importance with intention, you could shift your life and the decisions that you make, and then you could look at which one serves your highest value in order of importance, etc., etc. I look at, what are the impacts of this decision? What impacts will this have on me, my life, other people, finances, health, all sorts of things. What are the impacts this decision, what are the ripples that this could create? And something I'll share with you is, if I'm choosing between two things, it's important to not only look at the two things like, choice A or choice B, but I look at them in the future. I think about, choice A or choice B. If I choose A, what does my life look like if I choose it? If I choose B, what does my life look like if I choose it? And so I go out into the future and I see what those results are. What are the outcomes that I can anticipate now? Now, we can't know everything, but whatever information I have as I'm making this decision, if I play it out in my mind, the end result, and then I come back and I look at those end results and go, well, this one looks like this and that one looks like this. Okay, that's what I'm really choosing between, is the end result, not just what I see, or, what's in front of me, is where will this take my life? What will my future look like? And so, that becomes so much more clear. It's like, well, do I like where this one takes me, or do I like where this one takes me? And it ties in, like I said, with the greater, higher vision that I have for myself and my future self and growth and the direction I want my life to go in. Does A or B take me closer to that? What are the risks? What are the downsides, right? Like what, so if I look at, okay, A or B could take me here, well, what if it doesn't work out? Where could they take me? Like, what's the worst case, the downside of choosing or not choosing one or the other? So what are the risks that I face that are involved in this? Or what's the downside? Like, what's the worst that could happen? Sometimes I'll look at those as well. So she asks, with the most challenging decisions, how long do you weigh the pros and cons? I would say the way I go about decision making is, what do I need to know? Like, what information do I not have? Like, is there anything more that I need to learn about this? Do I need to know more about the costs, the impacts, the risks, who's involved, how long will things take? What information do I need to know? And once I have that information, collect it, put it, maybe on a pros and cons list, and decide. There's no time frame. Like, there's a great book, Eat That Frog First, that I read, Brian Tracy, long time ago, and this doesn't totally apply, but I think his concept is a good one. And his concept of Eat That Frog First is, in the planning of your day, do the most difficult things first, because they weigh on you. They take energy out of your life. You're thinking about them in the back of your mind, especially if it's a big decision, or if it's something big, or something you are, quote, procrastinating. It's actually just eating energy from today and from right now. So I don't look at decisions of, can I put that off into the future? I say, what do I need to know? And then I make a decision. It's important to make it now so it doesn't drain any more energy from me, especially if it's a financial decision, because time is money. Like, putting something off is probably costing you something financially. So make the decision sooner, and you can have the rewards faster. And not making a decision, putting it off, is actually making a decision to not decide. You've probably heard that. So how long do I weigh the pros and cons? I only weigh the pros and cons when I have the information I need, and then I go. I don't weigh it inordinately. I just weigh it once. Like, I sit down and I weigh it. If it's a half an hour, if it's an hour, great. Sometimes if I need more information, like I need some feedback from some people, what do you think? What do you think? Maybe do that for a day or two. Not very long. Like I like my decisions to be in the past, like make them. Do you wait until you feel grounded and aligned before you make a decision? One thing I would say that feels like is an assumption in that question is that you're not grounded and aligned in your day, so you need to get grounded and aligned before you make decisions. So I would flip that on its head and say, I'm usually grounded and aligned. That's my purpose and my life's intention, is to be aligned and to feel good as much as possible. So making decisions maybe comes more easily because I'm most often grounded and aligned. If I'm not, get grounded and aligned. Get your power back. If you're feeling a little anxious or uncomfortable, get in a place of peace and calm and power, maybe power posing or whatever you need to do, and then make a decision. Absolutely. But I walk around through my life mostly or almost always empowered. If I do find myself dipping out of my power, then I avoid making especially big, important decisions in those times. So hope that helps. Do you give a timeline to decide if you feel like you're procrastinating? Give myself a timeline to decide if I feel like I'm procrastinating. Well, I never feel like I'm procrastinating because I'm always either just gathering information. I don't see myself as a procrastinator, so that doesn't come up. So the first thing is, I'm not a procrastinator is part of my belief system. I am a decision maker, so I tell myself I'm a decision maker. I just need information in order to make decisions. So I would say a timeline to decide if I feel like I'm procrastinating. I would say I give myself a timeline to decide, which is as soon as possible, which is how soon can I get that information. So there's no, I look at how can I get decisions behind me? How can I make the decisions? And I try not to give myself too many decisions in a week also. It's how can I reduce the number of decisions I'm making but still be happy, right? Weighing lots of pros and cons and too many, we have so many decisions every day. So, if I can make decisions once, like this is what I like and I stick to it. This is what I don't like and I stick to it. I am a person of spontaneity. I get that, but How can I reduce the number of decisions I'm making each day is, I guess, another thing that I didn't realize until I'm saying this, but that's a underlying process or philosophy I have is, how can I reduce the number of decisions? How can I decide something that I enjoy and then incorporate it instead of changing my mind all the time or having more decisions regularly? So how can I reduce the number of decisions? So I hope that helps Kelly and anyone watching this to understand the mindset of somebody who makes decisions quickly, promptly. So how can you make fewer decisions? What information do you need? Evaluate it, make that decision. There are no bad decisions because everything is always working out for you. Know what you want, know what you enjoy, like it. Be as grounded as possible, as often as possible, and then you're empowered to make decisions regularly throughout your day. There are no bad consequences. There's only choices, and then continue and correct and continue if need be. Hope that helps.